happens in the first episode is Tobias Beecher, who, as I was saying, is there because he killed someone, he hit someone while he was driving drunk and ends up in prison. And by the end of the first episode, Schillinger, who's from this white supremacist gang, basically has raped him and used a pen to tattoo a swastika on his ass.
And it's clearly the beginning of he's basically said, "You're my bitch now." And actually, Beecher has gone to Schillinger to get away from some other inmates who were threatening him. So,
Out of the frying pan into the fire.
right, that's the beginning of Tobias Beecher's Odyssey. And there's certainly a lot of intellectualizing you can do about that show, but also, let's not forget that this is essentially like soap opera for dudes. I mean, that was a lot of the appeal was that, and I say for dudes because for some reason, more than any other HBO show, I found that like a lot of women just did not want to watch Oz, but that guys were gripped by it for whatever reason. And there were multiple storylines running out through all the seasons that were essentially.
It's an entirely womenless world, and it's all about male social hierarchies, right?
Yeah, that's right. Male social hierarchies, male power trips.
So yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I can see not every, I'm not going to say that there's not a woman who would enjoy that, but that just along stereotypical lines, it's
right. Well, look, another great thing about this. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that it definitely wasn't Sex in the City, but at the same time, there were a number of women characters. You had the nun who was one of the spiritual advisors. You had the doctor who, so as long as we're in spoiler alert territory, one of the Irish gangsters ends up falling in love with her, and she doesn't want anything to do with him, so he ends up having her boyfriend or husband like attacked and killed on the outside world, and he hires it. Doesn't he get his brother to do it?
Yeah.
And then his brother ends up getting brain damaged when the cops come for him, and his brother ends up in jail. So when he said soap opera for guys, I mean, it's like you do have those kinds of, they do go with those sort of outlandish plot lines.
Are there any foofies?
Foofies?
Foofies? Yeah, do they explore foofies?
What are foofies?
Foofies, like when I think what it is you put
neither of us want to know.
A latex glove around your penis, and then you wrap that in a towel, and then you just hump it. It's a foofy.
Well, there's a lot of like men on men sex, if that's what you're asking.
So I guess there's no need for foofies because they're just taking what they need.
Right. The show does not shy away from that aspect of it at all.
But it's not gratuitous to the point where they're showing like abused buttholes that look like clusters of champagne grapes.
No, Sean, that's your own show.
You couldn't even say that with a straight face, man. You couldn't even say it with a straight face.
Don't project. I mean, it runs the gamut of like horrific rape to guys falling in love.
Yeah, absolutely, because you had that. Oh, that was another thing in season 2. So basically, all right. So I mean, just warning to anyone. I mean, you really should just watch the show because we're going to go seriously into spoiler territory. But as we've said, the statute of limitations has expired. So anyway, at the end of season 1, after enduring both tenderness and a fair amount of abuse from Schillinger, Beecher finally loses it, goes nuts on him, knocks him the fuck out, and then proceeds to drop a deuce on him, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's correct.
And so now they're of course mortal enemies because kind of when you do that to your man, I guess in the prison world that doesn't go over very well. So now they're mortal enemies.
That was one of the great TV payoffs too, because you have this guy being abused and tortured basically by this insane asshole Nazi prison guy, and Beecher, who's this mild mannered white collar dude who screws up by driving drunk and ends up in this nightmare situation. He takes it all season long, and when he finally loses it, he really loses it, and it's one of those like yeah moments in front of the TV. Like you're saying, that's just kind of the start of it for him. I mean, that just makes things 10 times worse for him. So.
And so in season 2, you have a character that comes into the prison who Schillinger knows from the outside world, and basically Schillinger gets this guy to seduce Beecher and break his heart by basically get him to fall in love with him and then leave him. But then, which he does, and of course, Beecher is he falls apart as a result of it. But then the guy realizes he was actually in love with Beecher. But now, of course,
he just sounds like One Life to Live, dude. As you describe all this.
I mean,
I think she was cheating on him, and the husband came home, and she was with the pool guy.
Well, look, I don't know that we're doing a good job of convincing Sean or any of our listeners.
I think the quick hits are cool. All I had in mind was that we run through pretty short order some of the things, like whatever it is, our favorite things that we might have trouble convincing someone. And I think people got a lot to chew on. They've got people shitting on one another and abusive Stockholm Syndrome romance, and so they're probably going to be digging it.